I'm Macy Egland. The Farmingville man accused in a deadly street racing crash is expected in court today. 23-year-old Frank Labidi is due to be arraigned on manslaughter and reckless driving charges. Police say he was speeding in Hicksville in January when he lost control, crossed into oncoming traffic and crashed, killing two Levittown teens who were in his car. Read more about aggressive driving and see our year-long investigation into Long Island's dangerous roads on our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. Police have identified the woman killed in this Dix Hills house fire. They say 52-year-old Kristen Dugan lived at the home on Talisman Drive. Tuesday's fire also injured 5 emergency responders. Only a Newsday, 14 tons of illegal vape products bound for Nassau County were seized. Police and health officials intercepted the products last week, which they say were on their way to local distributors and smoke shops. Investigators say distributor Ecto World Inc. could face criminal charges. Travelers are still facing long lines at the airport because of the partial government shutdown. With no end in sight, here are some tips for you if you're traveling. Arrive 2.5 hours early for a domestic flight, 3 hours for international. Check websites and even social media for information about delays. Pack light to avoid checking any bags. Have your tickets, passport, and ID ready when you get to security. As the shutdown drags on, the TSA says some small airports like MacArthur could be at risk of closing because of staffing shortages.
That would be ridiculous. I mean, this is a convenience for coming to Long Island. If you have to go to JFK or per se LaGuardia to come out here, no.
Congress stopped funding Homeland Security, which oversees the TSA, 6 weeks ago. Gas prices continue to soar on the island. AAA says the average for a gallon of regular is now $3.70. That's up from $2.85 a month ago. We've seen an 85-cent increase since the conflict in Iran started in February. Nationally, prices are $3.88, the highest since September of 2023. Let's talk about your Thursday forecast now. Yesterday's clouds and cold giving way to some more sun and milder temps today. Mostly sunny across the island for your Thursday. We've got a slight breeze, highs in the low 40s. A little bit warmer to start the weekend tomorrow. Temps push up to near 50 degrees. More 50s for the weekend as we extend to your 7-day forecast here. We are tracking some rain for Monday and Wednesday of next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
Long Islanders with student debt could soon be paying a lot more for their loans. That's because SAVE, the most affordable federal student loan repayment plan, has ended. A series of recent court decisions effectively phased out the program, which had been challenged for years. And now more than 7 million borrowers will need to move into new plans. So there's a lot of uncertainty about what the future of these student loans looks like. We have Newsday education reporter Maura McDermott here, as well as Nick Pruitt, Executive Director of Financial Aid and Scholarship Services at Stony Brook University, to try to help us get some clarity on all of this. Thank you both for being here. Maura, we want to start with you. Explain a little bit more about that SAVE plan. How did it work and who qualified for it?
Absolutely. So anyone could apply to take part in the SAVE program. This is a program that dates back to the Biden administration, and it was introduced as the plan with the potentially the lowest payments. And payments would be pegged to a portion of a borrower's discretionary income, so what's left over after somebody met their basic expenses. For undergraduate borrowers, it would be 5% of their discretionary income. So payments could be quite low. But as you noted, as soon as this program got off the ground, pretty much the brakes were put on it by the courts after a group of Republican-led states called it illegal and sued to block it.
Okay, Nick, let's get over to you. Are you seeing students who are worried about paying for their loans after all of this?
Yeah, I think we're seeing students that are enrolled right now that were kind of promised the SAVE plan as a way to make college affordable for them. And now with the end of the program, they're worried about what their monthly payments are going to be. And I think they're looking for a way out. 7 million students are currently in the plan, and they've been in forbearance since August of last year, which means the interest on those loans has been accruing, and they haven't been making any payments along the way.
So a lot of uncertainty. As we mentioned, Maura, in your reporting, you found some borrowers who moved on to other programs. They saw their payments as much as triple. Tell us about that. That's huge.
Absolutely. There's a nonprofit group called the Institute for College Access and Success. They did an analysis of what would happen to certain borrowers who switch from the SAVE plan into a new program called the Repayment Assistance Plan. Now, that new program works somewhat differently. The way that new program works is that payments are tied to a percentage of a borrower's total income. And according to this nonprofit group's analysis, for a single person earning $45,000, their monthly payment could in some cases go from about $40 to about $150, so tripling. And for a family of four making the country's median income of about $80,000, their payments could increase by tenfold, from about $35 to more than $440.
So a huge increase here. Nick, what can we do looking forward? What should borrowers be doing right now?
I think borrowers right now, if they were in the SAVE plan, need to really be investigating the different other repayment options and also looking for additional information coming from the RAP plan. We're still waiting on additional guidance on what that will look like. It was part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that was passed in the summer and should be available after July 1st. Students will see an increase in their payments, especially students that are going into those entry-level positions or maybe in the non-for-profit sector where maybe the salaries aren't quite as high as kind of in the private sector.
Okay. As Nick mentioned, the Federal Education Department says it will issue some clear guidance on next steps in the coming weeks, so we'll watch for that. Again, my thanks to Maura McDermott and Nick Pruitt for their time today and helping us break this all down and look ahead at what borrowers need to do. You can read more about the end of the SAVE program on our website, Newsday.com.
Newsday Sports is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy. Need to maintain or repair an old solar system? Trust Sun Nation Service to fix it like new.
Hofstra and St. John's are both preparing for their NCAA tournament games tomorrow, and a local restaurant is helping them fuel up here at home. Jamie Stewart takes us to Vincent's Clam Bar in Carl Place.
Hofstra and St. John's, two locals experiencing March Madness. And off the court, the hoops teams have something else in common.
Line them up.
When members of the Pride and Red Storm want a great pregame or postgame meal, their slam dunk choice is Vincent's Clam Bar in Carl Place.
It's been more exciting than ever. This last week, between all the teams that we're feeding and everything that we're doing, has been incredible.
Owner Bobby Marisi and manager Danny Pepe feed the two tournament-bound teams on a weekly basis, either at their practice facilities or sometimes right in the restaurant.
Appealing to the masses and doing big volume is what we do here. So you can't walk in with a team of 50, 60 guys to a neighborhood restaurant and be like, we're here. You'll close the whole place down. Over here, it's just a walk in the park.
Now this is Rick Pitino's go-to meal. It's a classic veal parmesan. Now Rick and I have something in common. It's fantastic. As for Speedy Claxton, he's going with his Lucky Parm, the chicken parm. And a side of penne alla vodka for both coaches.
Always enjoy the Lucky Palm. You can never go wrong with the Lucky Palm.
Speedy has been coming to Vincent since he was a player at Hofstra. But when Rick Pitino became coach of St. John's, Bobby put on the full court press.
We went there and we asked if we could do your catering. And they said yes. And next thing you know, we're catering for basketball, lacrosse, baseball, soccer, men's and women's.
The folks at Vincent's won't take all the credit for this year's March Madness, but
A lot of it's on their food. You know, we are fueling these guys.
For NewsdayTV, I'm Jamie Stewart.
It really is so good. You can read more about the team's tradition at Vincent's on our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. Here's what's up on Long Island. A sweet escape for the whole family. The Chocolate Expo heads to the Coliseum on Sunday. Taste delicious chocolate treats and specialty foods. There will also be special appearances by celebrity guests as well, including Todd Bridges from Different Strokes. Irish eyes are still smiling this weekend. There are St. Patrick's Day parades from Rockville Center to Hampton Bays this weekend. You'll find all the details on our website. And bring your basket and hunt for brightly colored eggs in Cold Spring Harbor. It's Saturday and Sunday at the Cold Spring Harbor Fish Hatchery and Aquarium. Reservations are required for that event. For admission information and even more events, click Get More below that Newsday TV video box on our homepage. See more on these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
Newsday investigates a brutal murder that shocked Long Island. 52 years later, new evidence has solved the crime and identified a suspect. Cold case solved. A Newsday investigation. Now available at Newsday.com.